Hey Insiders, we've got a very special guest joining us here today who has recently just graduated from our flagship course LMA, which is the Life Mastery Achievers. And he's so graciously going to come on here today to share his experience from start to finish and everything else in between. And I guess before we get started, would you mind telling everybody what's your name and where you're currently based in the world?
Thank you very much, Liam. My name is Hassan. I am located in Switzerland.
Hassan, thanks so much for joining us here today. Thanks for giving us some of your time to have a little bit of a chat. And I guess before we dive deep, I'm just curious to know, Hassan, what was your biggest struggle or challenge that you were facing in life prior to joining the LMA program?
The main challenge that I was facing prior to LMA was really procrastination. And that was, I believe, the keyword which made me join LMA because I got introduced to LMA via YouTube ad that I saw, and here Tim was presenting kind of procrastination and the research being done behind procrastination. What are the causes, and so on and so forth. So it kind of resonated with me, and I decided to join the webinar, the live webinar. I joined it, and then I got introduced to the LMA course. I researched briefly the course, the community, the reviews, and realized that the course was scoring, was performing really well. And then I decided to give it a shot.
Nice.
So procrastination is definitely the word that I was struggling with. And that was the main reason why I have joined LMA, because I was really aiming for eliminating actually procrastination.
Beautiful. And how was that like procrastination affecting you in your day-to-day life, Hassan? How was that showing up for you?
So it was mainly affecting me when it comes to the personal goals and objectives that are not being monitored or being overseen by somebody else. So it was kind of the personal objectives that I have been setting for myself. And I noticed that I wasn't necessarily committing seriously, or I wasn't necessarily taking the right actions at the right time in order to achieve these personal goals. And this kind of makes someone sometimes doubt his or her ability when it comes to achieving one's goals, because the first time, let's say, you fail yourself, the second time you fail yourself, the third time you fail yourself while committing to some previously set goals, you kind of start losing track, losing pace, losing momentum, as Tim highlights multiple times. And this was really the effect of procrastination, I would say, over the last couple of years.
Wow. Thanks for being so open and honest, and I really appreciate it. And as you were saying there that you dug and started doing your research and like figuring out the reviews and stuff, was there ever a part of you that thought like, could this be a scam, or what am I getting myself involved in here?
So scam, I didn't really think it is a scam because I read some of the reviews. So I didn't believe that it's a scam. But what I was definitely doubting is it up to the level? Like, is it really gonna make a change? Is it going to kind of improve? Is it going to get me one step closer towards, let's say, eliminating procrastination? Is it going to get me one step closer towards my personal goals? That was the doubt that I was having prior to joining LMA course. Again, I didn't really have the impression that it's going to be that it's going to be a scam, but I was kind of a bit doubting that will it be, up to the level that I was aiming for. And to be honest, and this is really my very honest and humble, let's say, a review, it exceeded my expectations, and I was very positively surprised with the content, with the structure that was followed, and how it is very easily relatable to anyone's lives, because the examples that were given during the course, they kind of resonate to any person in the world. Whatever, let's say, life you've been through, whatever challenges you might have been facing or you're still facing, the content of the course, the real life examples provided by the course, the framework from the theoretical part to the practical part, it just relates very well, let's say, the people who have joined the course, or anyone actually around the world.
Wow. Nice. And on that note as well, like from your experience, Hassan, what you've experienced at LMA and what you've gone through, what sort of an individual do you think LMA is suited for? Like, who is LMA for?
Look, I think LMA is for anyone who wants to seriously put an effort to be self-aware. So you're really getting aware of yourself, to understand where you are right now and aiming to go to where you desire to be.
Mm-hmm.
The reason why I say that is because it was split into kind of three, let's say, steps. The first step is self-awareness,
Mm-hmm.
being really aware of myself, my belief systems, the fact they haven't been how to say, they haven't been originated by my own brain, but rather impacted by the environment, by the circumstances. And then once you understand the self, then it is the part which relates to, okay, what is the person I would like to be? So obviously here I would like to be a person that doesn't procrastinate, that puts his personal goals, that follows up thoroughly when it comes to the personal goals and so on and so forth. So this is kind of the dream scenario. I believe everyone around the world has point A and then a point B that we're trying to achieve.
Mm-hmm.
And then this is the second part, which is defining the goal, defining the target. And then the third part is it is setting the framework and the steps which require to go from point A to point B.
Mm-hmm.
So that said, I believe it suits everyone who's willing really to move from point A to point B in his or her life, because it helps you understand this point A, it helps you understand the destination, and then it helps you set the grounds in order to go from point A to point B. Does that mean that it's kind of a miracle and you're going to witness change overnight? No, you need to put the effort, you need to put the work. What LMA helps you get, it gives you the momentum. It helps you stay motivated even when it's not, let's say, your best day. So for example, I can give you a concrete example from my LMA experience, is that prior to LMA, I've already made the decision that in 2024, I really would like to kind of step the game up, take real actions instead of just procrastinating, or instead of just taking, these very small steps and so on and so forth.
Mm-hmm.
Once I joined LMA, it acted as a catalyst that sped up this whole process. And where I believe it really helped me big time is especially on the days where I was kind of not feeling at the top of my game.
Mm-hmm.
Here is where LMA really played an important role. So prior to LMA, on a good day, and I guess everyone on a good day, we're able to perform very brightly and we're able to perform an excellent shape and so on and so forth. But then what differentiates others, I believe it's really the performance on bad days. And prior to LMA, on a bad day, I used to kind of quit. By quitting, it could be anything from, let's say, me aiming to go to the gym.
Mm-hmm.
And then due to the fact that I'm a bit tired, physically tired or mentally tired, I just, let's say, let go. Let's just skip the gym day, for example, today, to any kind of professional goal or other personal objective that I might set. LMA kind of set the grounds for a solid foundation in order for me to be able to kind of perform on a good day, but also more importantly on a bad day.
Beautiful.
Did it? Does that mean that right now I'm at the top of my game? I don't think so, because there's always room for continuous improvement.
Of course. Beautifully put. Thanks so much for sharing. And having gone through what you've experienced with LMA, from what you can recall right now, what's something that you enjoyed most or made you most happiest about this experience that maybe you weren't expecting, or yeah, just what you personally experienced?
I think the point that helped me most in this LMA journey is the continuous repetition by Tim's side around it is not about motivation.
Mm-hmm.
And I think this is really, this is really something that is that is very crucial, and it's super important, because many people think that they need to be motivated about something to achieve the goal. So once they lose this motivation, they lose the pace, they lose the drive. And this, I believe, Tim highlights it many times with regards to continuously committing, with regards to being disciplined, and with really following the steps day by day, the small step at a time. This is really the thing which I believe made a change in my life in 2024, because I really started doing the small steps. I really started taking actions on daily basis, or let's say if not on daily basis, because there have been also some exceptions or some ups and downs, especially at the beginning, but at least taking these small steps and making sure that I am consistently applying these small steps. And yeah, they have, you start realizing that, okay, I am committing to the daily tasks that I have set.
Mm-hmm.
I am committing to the monthly tasks that I have set, and this is something that I found remarkable. Something else that I found really beautiful about LMA, it's about, you know, the belief system and how they have been kind of inserted into our minds,
Mm-hmm.
the brain and its survival function,
Mm-hmm.
the fact that it's not really made to thrive on its own, and the fact that if we wish to thrive, then there is something which needs to change.
Mm-hmm.
What is this thing? We need to identify it.
Mm-hmm.
We need to put the effort to change it. And it's going to be, let's say, change is not, we're never very, motivated about change because we're in our comfort zone. But
Yeah.
then change comes with a risk,
Mm-hmm.
and we need to kind of go for this risk. We need to take this risk in order to be able to accomplish this change.
Wonderful. Wonderful. And Hassan, just to wrap up here, final question, right? If I were to say to you, what advice would you give to someone who's thinking of going through LMA? They're maybe sitting on the fence right now. They want to change their life. They're maybe procrastinating too, maybe similar to yourself. What advice would you give to someone other than just do it, right? You know, what advice would you give to someone who's seriously thinking about coming on board, but they just haven't stepped forward yet? What would you say to those people?
If you're really serious about changing, if you're really serious about putting the effort,
Mm-hmm.
I definitely would recommend joining LMA for a couple of reasons. One is you will definitely have a better understanding of yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Two, you are definitely going to have a better understanding of where you would like to be, but more importantly, how to get there, and not in shortcuts, but in an efficient and proven way.
Mm.
That would be my advice. If you're really willing to put the effort, because this is really the prerequisite, you need to be willing to put the effort, to put your ego aside, to be willing to learn, to be willing to digest new ideas, maybe things that previously you haven't been believing in. You need to be humble. And
Mm-hmm.
if you're really willing to learn and willing to change to the better, or at least towards the target and the objective that you're setting for yourself, LMA is the way to go.